everybody. God willing. So we're going to start. I call it Shabbos Kodesh. We're going to start, God willing, 18 minutes of Shabbos preparing. Somebody asked me, I spoke to my father today, and he mentioned to me that what is the class about? So I told him it's about Shabbat. And said, okay, so how much can you talk about Shabbat? And he's got a point. How much can you talk about Shabbat? There's a limit, right? To every subject in life, there's a limit that you can talk about. That's how it is. But when we come to talk about Shabbos, Shabbos is like endless depth to Shabbos. And Shabbos is, as the Zohar, we're going to have one second, it's regarding the classroom. One second. אילן, איזה תורה רבינו אומר ששמח וטוב לב בשבת?
Is everybody else getting a flashing from his,
yeah.
I'm not the only one. I just was wondering if it's my computer. Okay. Thank you.
טוב, תודה. תשאל, אם תוכל להגיד לי, אני מחכה לשמוע. Yeah, so as the Zohar, Rabbi Shimon Bar Yochai soon is going to be his Yortzeit by Lag BaOmer. And Rabbi Shimon Bar Yochai wrote the Holy Zohar. In the Zohar, Rabbi Shimon Bar Yochai wrote that Shabbos is Shema de Kudsha Brichu. Shabbos is the name of Hashem. Shabbos is one of the names that Hashem has, out of so many names that he has, is Shabbat. Shabbos is a very holy name. If Hashem is proud to dress in the name of Shabbos, so how much can we talk about Hashem? Endless, because it's not in the borders of, not in the limitations of nature. It's beyond nature. So God willing, we should have a lot of things regarding Shabbos, and my prayer is that we'll have inspiration during Shabbos. We can get closer to Hashem during Shabbos. There's a freedom, a sense of freedom during Shabbos, that we're not enslaved to the mundane, to the weekdays. We're off our cell phones, off computers, off cars. Can you imagine? We take off all the obstacles that bother us from connecting with the divine. This is Shabbos. So we're holding by the halachas for Kiddush. The person who recites the Kiddush, well, we mentioned last time that the chales has to be covered, right? When the person makes Kiddush over the wine. So, but when you do make the Kiddush over the wine, the person who makes the Kiddush have to drink at least mouthful. Mouthful is a measure that is considered to be something significant. We can't just drink a sip from the wine, from the Kiddush, from the wine cup, from the cup of the wine, and get along with it. No, we have to drink a full mouth, or 26 grams. Like if you take like a plastic cup, this is the quantity of around 26 grams. But remember, it has to be a full cup. So if the cup is small, you have to fill it up all the way through. You have to make sure there is such a quantity of wine that the cup can hold. So a person should drink a mouthful without any stops. And it's a mitzvah for everybody to taste from the cup, kos shel bracha, kos shel kiddush. But if someone does not drink wine because either he made himself a restriction not to drink wine, or the wine is not good for his health, then he should not make kiddush over wine. Should not make kiddush over wine that everybody else should drink from that. Ilan, איזה תורה? איזה? תודה רבה, תודה. So, if you cannot drink wine from specific reason, how can you make kiddush over wine for others? Number two, usually there's an after bracha for everything we eat or drink. Here in the kiddush, we don't make an after bracha over the wine we drink, because the wine before the meal is covering all the drinks inside the meal. So if you make kiddush over wine, or even if you just make borer priya geffen during the weekdays, and you can wash hands right away, and you don't have to make a bracha over the wine while eating the bread, because the bracha, it's a specific chapter in Shulchan Aruch that the wine before the meal is covering the wine within the meal. So you don't have to make an after bracha after the kiddush. We just wash our hands as we always do after making the kiddush. Make hamotzi. We're getting into the meal, the seudas Shabbos. Now, how do we cover the wine we drank before the meal? We have to make an after bracha, after all, for everything we eat or drink. So the birkas hamazon, the bench after the meal, that covers the wine we drank before the meal. Okay, so we're good. So if we drank wine before making hamotzi, if we're inside the meal after making hamotzi, we don't have to make bracha over the wine. It was taken care before the meal. Beautiful. Wow. 3 halachas. 3 halachas. Amazing. Rabbi Nachman talks about Shabbos and how joyful a person has to be over Shabbos. Rabbi Nachman writes here in teaching number 17, this is the Likutei Moharan by Rabbi Nachman, the major book that Rabbi Nachman wrote. He says you have to be very careful to be lebrik, good-hearted, happy during Shabbat. Shabbos is not a day of mourning. Even if, God forbid, somebody died over Shabbos. It could happen. I was present, was like 25 years ago in Tzfat. My friend's father passed away on Shabbos. It was Shabbos night, Friday night, he passed away. And the Rav called us, a few of us, we should be with that family during Shabbat. And we kept all Shabbos, the Zmiras, we ate everything, no moanings. The person was in a difficult situation, but still, you're not supposed to moan. Just put the corpse during aside in a separate room, and you conduct Shabbos as Shabbos Kodesh. So on Shabbat, we're not supposed to show any sadness, any disappointment, any lack of satisfaction. Everybody is beautiful over Shabbos. Everybody around is beautiful. Nothing can break my joy over Shabbos. Somebody spilled the wine. The table fell. God forbid, whatever happens, I broke something. The kid broke, the wife broke, the husband broke. It doesn't matter. I have to be super happy over Shabbos. And as I mentioned before, Reb Shimon Bar Yochai from the Zohar, he wrote 70 articles only on the word Shabbat. 70 articles. Heiliger, holy, holy, holy articles about Shabbat Kodesh. This book is called Tikkunei HaZohar. The Tikkunim, the lofty articles, the Tikkunim, rectifications, corrections, deep observation about Shabbos. It's a thick book, only on the word Bereshit. One word of the Torah, Reb Shimon Bar Yochai wrote a whole book, 70 articles, and I read in a specific book, I cannot remember the name of that book, that we can also write 70 articles and even more upon every word of the Torah. Every word of the Torah can carry such a book, thick book, full of secrets, full of hidden insights, full of depth, full of holy understandings of the divine, of Hashem, of Shabbos Kodesh, and he wrote one of the combinations of the word Bereshit. If you break the letters, you can create two new words. You break the letters of the word Bereshit, which is the first word of the Torah. You break it into two, Yareh, Shabbat. Yareh, Yud Resh Aleph, Shabbat, Shin, Bet, Taf. Together, they create the word Bereshit, right? The first word in the Torah. So Yareh Shabbat means Yira, awe, fear of God. Shabbat is Shabbos, our heiliger, sweet, beautiful Shabbos. So in the word Bereshit, there's a combination of these two words, the awe in Shabbos. So, and Rabbi Nachman writes over here in the teaching number 17, in the second volume of Likutei Moharan, that during the weekdays, it is possible for the fear, for the awe, for the fear of God to be fear with foolishness. As it is brought in the book of Job, chapter 4, that Job's had few friends who were trying to test him if he's going to stay in the fear of God, even after all the difficult things he went through. His children died, his wife died, his wife was sick, he burned, his barn was burned, the fields, the house. He got leprosy. He was like full disaster. Never said a bad word about upwards. Always spoke good words about Hashem. Always his emunah was strong. Never listened to his friends who tried to test him if he's going to say, curse. They say, curse and die. Look at you. You're still praising God for everything you're going through. Job said, no, I love God, I love Hashem, I'm always going to thank him for everything he gives me. So we learn from here, by the way, that we have to check our friends carefully. Also make sure that kids have good friends. Rabbi Ephraim Koenig, our present Rabbi Koenig, always ask the children when they come to see him. He says, do you have good friends? Very important to check your children's friends and your grandchildren's friends, because the obligation of chinuch, of being mechanech, giving good education to your children as a mitzvah from the Torah, also applies to your grandchildren, not only to your children. You can't force anybody. There's like a second generation gap. Still, the mitzvah is to teach them and to tell them what the children cannot tell them. Zaidi can tell them. or Bobby can tell them, because they accept from Bobby or Zaidi much more than they accept from their parents. So check it out. Check out your grandchildren's friends. Anyway, we're talking about Yireh Shabbat, the fear of Shabbos, the awe that we have during Shabbos. On the weekdays, our awe from God could be with foolishness, as it says in Job, Halo yirascha kislosecha. Your awe, says the friends to Job, your awe is your stupidity. So it's possible for the awe, we learn from this pasuk, that it's possible that the fear of God could be with stupidity, not clear. And we want to get away from that kind of awe. We don't want to be foolish believers. We want to be free believers, smart believers, not with foolishness. But because of the weekdays, we suffer slavery. We're enslaved to 8 hours, 9 hours, 12 hours work. We're enslaved to the weekdays, to the cars, computers, phones. We're slaves to the reality that we live in. Fine, that's how we live. This is our life, but we have to make sure we're not enslaved to that. We're running late. A lot of time is gone by, but I'm going to just finish this subject. So, but on Shabbos, said Rabbi Nachman, just 2 more minutes. On Shabbos, said Rabbi Nachman, your fear of God is with freedom, because you're not enslaved like you're enslaved in the weekdays. Because by slavery in the weekdays, ein hadat sholem, the knowledge, the awareness is not complete. As we learned from other psukim, other place in the Torah, that the slavery can make us the Shabbos is free and the weekdays is slavery. So also our fear of God during the weekdays is not in the right place. But when there's no slavery, there's freedom, then the simcha of Shabbos can come along. Then we can rejoice on Hashem. We can rejoice over Shabbos. With simcha, with joy, which is the opposite of slavery. With joy, we come out from all our problems. So we go out for freedom, for redemption. And when there's a redemption, the awareness is complete. And therefore, that's what happens in Shabbos. The Yira is complete. It's with joy. It's on the right place because there's no slavery on Shabbos. We're not enslaved to any restrictions. We're free, and we can be joyful over Shabbos. So that's the target, to try to look for my connection with God through Shabbos. I'm going to just push away all the problems, all the obstacles, all the things that bothers me. Give myself time with Hashem. It's possible. It's there for us to discover. And I wish you good luck. I wish myself good luck, and all of us, so we can connect to that point of freedom. And then, as I said before, when we have freedom, our fear comes to the right place. We can feel God. We can connect to God. We can have the fear of God, but not to be frightened, just to be happy that Hashem is my boss. Hashem is my Lord. Hashem conducting, Hashem leads me. I can just lean on Him and give Him the right of way. Take the steering wheel, Hashem. I've done everything I could. Like, take the leadership. I'm giving it to you. But as long as we want to take the leadership to ourselves, Hashem says, you know what? If you want to take care of your own problems by yourself, go ahead, do it. Why do you need me? But if you want me, give me the right of way, said Hashem. Let me come into your life. Open up to me. Open up for me. And I'll come with all my might, all my glory. I'll be there for you. I'll take you out of all your restrictions, problems, because I love you, sis. So here we are again. Another Shabbos, another beautiful Shabbos ahead of us. Thank you again